Okay, here's another little fix-it video, and I'll try to show you the situation. Okay, so we have these wheel arches here, and this piece here is actually plywood. So down the bottom of the wheel arches, the plywood tends to get water into there, and then it starts to lose its integrity. And the same on this side here. You can see this one's a little bit wobbly. So, like everything, once it starts to deteriorate, you want to get onto it fairly quickly. Now, with this one, I've already taken the wheel arch off. As you can see, the plywood in there has pretty much begun to lose its integrity. Up here it starts to be okay again. Down the front leading edge, not quite so bad. So I have taken the cover off. I noticed this because a couple of the screws at the back here were starting to come out, and when I played with them they had pretty much rusted away. So you end up with them looking a bit like this, or really bad ones, there's almost nothing left of them. So that's my project for today. Now, I did one probably about a week ago at our last campground. I did this one here. So as you can see, the job is pretty good, everything's nice and tight again, and that's what you want. And I replaced all of the screws with stainless steel. Alright, so that's what we're doing today. So as usual, before we get started, you need to clean everything up. Now, I've used my trusty little spatula thing here, and I've cleaned off all of the old silicone and all of that sort of stuff. And now we're going to use our vinegar and a rag and elbow grease to clean all those surfaces up. I won't get you to watch that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to particularly pay attention to this piece in here. Now it has two points where the screws go in, one here and one here, and then the next one will be up into here somewhere. Alright, probably right where it's all falling apart there. So what we need to do is we need to add something in here to give this more strength and get it back to something that we can actually screw into. So on the other side we used the plastic wood. I'm going to do that again this side, then we've got to let it dry. So I'll get on and do that, and then I'll show you the finished product. Alright, so this stuff comes, you can see it's two different colours. You basically knead that together, which is why I'm wearing the gloves, until it's one consistent colour. And then you use that to apply to where you need to strengthen it up. I just thought I'd show you that so that you understood what the product was and how it worked. Alright, so this one was in particularly bad condition. What I've done is, on this side, which was in pretty good condition, I've just filled the old screw holes. Alright, and also just up in here, you might not be able to see that, but there's another screw hole there, so screw hole there, screw hole there. And also the two screw holes in the top. However, basically from here all the way down to the join here, this has really lost its integrity, and from here all the way down to the base it's also pretty much lost all of its integrity. So I've basically filled in an entire strip through here to try and give it a bit of strength, and I've filled quite a big chunk either side of the screw hole in here to try to give it some strength. I don't think that this is going to hold. I think that this piece of plywood should be completely removed, a new piece put in, and the sides re-glued and clamped to hold it together. But I'm going to give this a try first and see how that goes. Failing that, I'm going to end up cutting that piece of plywood out of there and slotting a new piece in and gluing all of that in, and the same deal here. I'll cut all of that out as well, slide a piece in and glue it all in together. But I'll only do that if this doesn't take off, but I'm thinking that that's probably what's going to need to happen here. Alright, another little project that we're in the middle of doing, and I'm going to do this while I'm waiting for the wood putty to dry on the fender, is we're going to be making some basically some stands that go underneath the what do they call them? Underneath the hydraulic jack stands. So we're going to be making some blocks that go under the hydraulic jack stands. Now we just found this bits of wood lying around on the side of the road at one point. When we were stopped for a coffee, and we thought, that would be perfect for this job. So we're repurposing stuff. Anyway, I'll cut these up and I'll show you what we've got in the end. Alright, so as we've been going on, I needed to remove some of the reinforcing steel from the bits of wood. I'm not going to throw these away. These can act as really good pins to hold wood together. So for example, I'm thinking of using a couple of these as a step to get up into the van. So they're a bit low at the moment, but I could effectively drill holes in the pieces of timber and then epoxy the reinforcing steel in as pins to hold them together, and that's free. So like I said, repurposing stuff, using stuff again, changing what it was used for in the first place. All these things save you money. Okay, so the battery went flat on the recip saw, and that's fine. I'm not in any rush to do any of this. There's a couple that I've cut up for the entry point. At some point maybe I can put another block under each end of that, and then, like I said, tie it all together with the old reinforcing steel. And I've managed to do a couple of blocks for under the stands. So again, it's all free. Anyway, so there you have it, just repurposing some things to save yourself some money. Just use a little bit of an ingenuity. Alright, I'm going to be carrying on with the fender now. Alright, the next step of this is to try to seal this a little bit to stop more moisture getting in there. We're just going to use this silver tape to do that. Probably last for a couple of years, but like I said, I'm probably going to end up having to take this one off because I'm thinking I'm going to need to redo this. But this is pretty hard now, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so now what we've done is we've placed this tape over all the edges here. So all the way around. Now that is in an attempt to keep some of the moisture out. Obviously it's not going to be 100%, but the more you can keep out, the better. Right, the next step is to put the wheel arch back on again. Alright, so the next step is to put the wheel arch back on again. The screws that are taken out, a lot of them have completely failed, which means that the timber that they were fixed into will have failed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up maybe 1 or 2 sizes. We're going to use stainless, and we're also going to use a wood glue on the screws as we put them in. Now this is to try to assist with the integrity of the wood, and also to hold the screw in place, and we'll see how we get on. Alright, I've put one screw in, which is just here. That's just to hold it in place while I do the others. Now each time I do one of the others, I'm going to put the glue onto the screw and then put it in. Okay, now if it goes in too easily, I'm going to increase the thickness of the screw until it has good purchase. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'll crack on, and we'll see what it's like at the end. Alright, so that actually went pretty well. One thing I've got to stress is that you don't tighten these screws really hard. You get them in, get them firm, don't over tighten them, particularly if the timber has started to fail, because you'll just destroy all the work that you've done if you do that. Okay, so what these used to be 1.5 inch 8 galvanized screws, I think they were. In any case, I've replaced them all with 2-inch 8 stainless. So that's all the ones leading around until we get down to the bottom here, which was the piece that was really deteriorated, and I put in a 2-inch 10 and a 2-inch 12. Now these are probably going to fail if I had to guess or predict, but we'll see how long they last for, and at some point I'll be on the scrounge for some plywood to replace that. So now the next thing is, of course, I need to put silicone all around the top here, because we want to stop that water getting in some more. I'll get that done and then I'll show you the finished product. Alright, there we have it. That's the finished product. So as you can see, it's nice and firm there, and it's nice and firm there. Those are the 2 problem places, and it's all completely sealed. So time will tell if that's a good fix or not. I'm hoping that it'll last me a couple of years. Like I said, if it does, I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it does fail again, then obviously it'll fail in that spot down there, and I'll need to replace the plywood that's in behind there. So I've got 2 more of these to do. I'll do the back ones while I'm at it, but obviously you don't need to see how to do those. They're all exactly the same, and the back ones are not as bad as this, so I'm not anticipating any trouble there. So there you go. As usual, you know the drill. If you like the video, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. There's more of this stuff coming. Okay, thanks guys, see you next time.